All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we are going to completely demystify clauses 6 and 7 of ISO 9001 and really transform those abstract standards into a practical strategic blueprint and an operational engine for your organization. Because let's be honest, whether you're a veteran quality professional or a business leader trying to optimize things, you know that even the most brilliant ideas mean absolutely nothing without proper planning and robust, real-world support. So we're going to unpack exactly how to build that architecture for success.
We have a really logical roadmap for today. We'll start with the QMS foundation, move into the blueprint for quality planning, look at navigating risks and opportunities, and setting clear quality objectives. Then we'll shift gears to the engine, QMS support, and wrap up with empowering people and resources.
You know, to survive in today's VUCA world, and by that I mean an environment characterized by volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, organizations really have to lean on rigorous standards to build any sort of sustained success. We live in a highly interconnected, hyper-fast market, and standardization is exactly what we need to manage all this technological innovation and constant economic shifting. ISO 9001 isn't just a pile of paperwork to get a certificate on the wall, it's literally a dynamic survival guide for navigating reality right now.
Section 1. The QMS Foundation, Building the Framework for Quality. Okay, so this is the classic PDCA cycle. Plan, do, check, act. It is the absolute heartbeat of your entire system. But today, we are putting a massive magnifying glass specifically on the plan phase, which aligns with Clause 6, and the heavy lifting resources required for the do phase outlined in Clause 7. Because think about it, if you nail these two right out of the gate, the checking and acting down the line become infinitely easier and more effective.
Section 2. The Blueprints. Quality Planning, focusing on Clause 6 of ISO 9001.
The Q10 guideline hits the nail on the head when it defines quality planning. A strategy is honestly only as good as the operational processes you've defined to actually achieve it. You can't just wish for quality. You have to meticulously plan the specific processes and allocate the precise resources needed to get there. It's a highly proactive, deliberate exercise in designing your organization.
And you really have to think of planning not as some annoying bureaucratic hurdle, but as your organization's ultimate shock absorber. In an era where digital disruption is just the daily norm, a rock-solid plan allows you to hold your strategic direction even when the market inevitably throws curveballs your way.
Section 3. Navigating Risks and Opportunities, Proactive Strategy in Clause 621.
Now, planning isn't just about playing defense and avoiding disaster. It's equally about seizing incredible opportunities. ISO 9001 explicitly demands that you look at both sides of the coin. Sure, a risk might be a massive supply chain disruption, but an opportunity, that could be utilizing predictive maintenance through AI to keep your production lines running flawlessly. You have to look for both.
The standard actually requires you to map out actions for these risks and opportunities, and critically, make sure they are integrated directly into your daily operations. You can't just identify a risk, put it in a spreadsheet, and forget about it. No way. Clause 6.1 says you have to plan exactly how you'll weave those actions into your quality management system, and then evaluate if they actually worked.
Section 4. Setting clear quality objectives, translating vision into measurable goals.
You know, you can't just have these vague aspirations floating around. ISO 9001 demands your quality objectives be strictly measurable, constantly monitored, and clearly communicated to the whole team. Just saying, we want to be the best isn't an objective. An objective is reduce product defect rates by 15% in Q3. And when you plan how to hit those targets, you have to nail down what will be done, the resources required, who is taking the lead, and the exact deadline.
But what if you need to pivot? Well, Clause 6.3 ensures you do so in a highly controlled way, reallocating your resources without totally compromising the integrity of your system. Rapid growth, or maybe an unexpected global event, might force you to change your processes. ISO 9001 is completely fine with that, but you have to do it methodically. You have to make sure your quality foundation doesn't crack while you're busy renovating the house.
So, we've drawn up this fantastic bulletproof strategy, but it brings us to a pivotal question that perfectly transitions us from theory to action. A meticulously planned QMS requires a powerful engine to actually drive it forward.
Section 5. The Engine. QMS Support, which brings us right into Clause 7 of ISO 9001.
This is absolutely crucial. This excerpt from the ISO 9000 Fundamentals text anchors the whole concept of support straight into executive accountability. It clearly lays out that without top management actively stepping up and providing the necessary human and physical resources, the system will fail. Support doesn't just magically happen. It requires a deliberate, budgeted, and sustained investment from leadership.
ISO breaks this down beautifully into manageable categories, so you aren't just staring at a massive wall of requirements. Clause 7 forces you to take a comprehensive look at everything you need to operate. It's not just about headcount, it's about fostering the right environment, investing in the right software, implementing sharp measurement tools, and really safeguarding that unique internal knowledge that keeps your company competitive.
Section 6. Empowering people and resources, moving from theory to operational reality.
This is where the rubber meets the road. It's literally everything from your physical factory floor layout to your cloud-based servers. Think about the direct link here. If your strategic plan relies on tracking product defects in real time, but your support falters because of some outdated IT infrastructure, your entire strategy is going to collapse. Maintaining modern IT systems is just as vital to quality as keeping a manufacturing machine oiled.
And it's not enough to just fill a room with warm bodies. You have to prove that the people operating your systems possess the exact education, training, and experience needed to succeed. Clause 7.2 actually demands that you evaluate how effective your training is and retain hard evidence of their competence. Because honestly, if your team doesn't have the required skills, your brilliant plan is dead on arrival.
Finally, we have to keep the receipts. You need to maintain the instructions that guide your people and retain the records that prove they did it right. This is usually what people complain about when they hear ISO 9000. The documentation. But let's reframe that. Documented information is just the structural glue that ensures consistency. It's what gives you absolute confidence that the amazing plans you made back in Clause 6 are actually happening out there in the real world.
The main takeaway here is the pure synergy between Clause 6 and Clause 7. You literally cannot have one without the other. Thorough planning sets the objectives, maps the resources, and anticipates the risks. Unwavering support steps up to provide the competent people, the modern infrastructure, and the documented knowledge to hit those targets. If either one of these breaks down, the whole quality system grinds to a halt.
I'm going to leave you with this thought. An unexecuted plan is just a dream. So look at your own organization and ask yourself, are you truly leveraging ISO 9001 to its fullest extent? By deeply integrating the strategic planning of Clause 6 with the comprehensive support of Clause 7, you don't just survive in a VUCA world, you dominate it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I challenge you to go out and empower your teams today.